Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. So, there's this event in the Rose Garden of the White House that has now become a super spreader event for the coronavirus. It has infected President Trump, it has infected Kellyanne Conway, and probably even more people. Because, of course, when you look at the videos, everyone was there without wearing masks and they weren't social distancing. Some people were even hugging. It is just beyond infuriating. And yet, that's not necessarily what's bothering me today. What's bothering me today is that these people were, doing all this celebrating at the nomination hearing for this new potential ultra conservative Supreme Court Justice nominee. And this just really puts a capstone on how terrible and thoughtless and callous and full of a sense of victory and superiority that this administration is riding on. I really find it kind of difficult to adequately celebrate this the way some are, because Trump has been hospitalized. He's gone to Walter Reed or whatever the hospital is. And he's already tweeting up a storm. It's no longer the flu, it's the plague. But here's what's really bothering me about this whole event is that unfortunately, they're still going to come out of this. All these people infected, all these people involved, they're going to come out of this and still not treat the situation with the urgency it deserves. The response to this should be, wow, this one person, this Hope so-and-so, and she managed to infect all these people, and it got to the president, and what if, he doesn't survive, or if it had been even worse? This is an issue of national security. But they're not going to think of it that way. They're still going to think, oh, great doctors, we're getting over it, or oh yeah, it's just the flu, and they're not going to wear masks. They're not going to social distance. They're not going to take the precautions necessary, and they're not going to help the millions of Americans who desperately need help in this pandemic as they continue to be evicted or be sent into hospital, and then they can't pay the insurance premiums. There isn't going to be help for the people who need it most, even though this pandemic has reached the absolute top of the American power structure. How do you get people so blinded by ideology to see sense and to really change their minds? I've said before that conservatives seem to not think anything is a problem until it impacts them or someone they know directly. And so I'm hoping that this super spreader event, this Rose Garden Massacre, as people on Twitter are calling it, I hope that this finally gets the Republicans to take the threat seriously and to meaningfully help the American people that they claim to represent. But a part of me fears that they won't, because they never have, and they won't, except around election time when they can count on dogmatic subservience to vote for them and bring them even yet more power while they continue to squash their boot on the lowest of the low. And the fact that this is probably a likely outcome from this terrible event that's happened in the White House Rose Garden, the fact that these people aren't going to help Americans and that they aren't going to take the right precautions and they aren't going to treat this like the actual emergency it is, that is what's bothering me today.